which was 7 times less than in the previous years. Like the years before, we were always like $3.5, $4, right in that range. So that was like a huge difference.
Welcome to the Chatbot Podcast, the place where we talk about bots, artificial intelligence, smart automation, and messenger marketing. We value our time and enjoy when technology makes our lives easier. And now your host, Balint Pataki.
Welcome everyone, this is episode 14. Today I have a case study for you, a student success from the Swiss Alps. We're going to talk about a bit underutilized feature of Messenger, building a referral system to use the power of your existing list and invite more people to your Messenger bot. We did a technical breakdown of the whole campaign where Manuel shared his screen and we went over the exact setup step by step. From the Facebook copy, through the chatbot conversations and optimization tips to the advanced automation. We didn't hold back anything. We show exactly how everything worked together and led to success. And that will be available in my upcoming program Bot Mastery 2.0. Make sure to join the early bird list and get notified when it will be available. Just hop over to botmastery.com and enter with 2 clicks. As always, you can find the show notes at over chatbottutorial.com/podcast. Now, please welcome to the show, Manuel Krapf. Hi, Manuel. Thank you for accepting my invitation and welcome to the show. Can you please introduce yourself quickly for the listeners?
Very sure. Thanks for having me today. So, yes, you said my name is Manuel Krapf, and in today's episode, we are going to talk about a project of mine, which is an outdoor music festival, which I'm co-organizing. And we had, in the past year, we found ourselves in challenges of growing the festival bigger with offline efforts, and we slowly switched online. And still, it became better, but it's not being where I wanted this to be, and until we found a secret thing called Chatbot. We will talk more about that in a second. But yeah, that's it. About the festival, it's kind of, as I said, a local festival in Switzerland, which is, I think everybody knows, heart of Europe, where the mountains and the cows are. And we're having rock music with local bands. It's this year grown up to 670 persons or visitors, daily visitors we had. And we will show more and a few more details in a few minutes, I guess, right?
Yeah. Switzerland we heard about, yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
So you mentioned you switched from offline to online. What was the challenge making that move and to grow a base for this event online?
Right. So when you start out things, right, something new, like this is not what how should I say, like what I learned in school or as a job, you just start looking at what are the other people doing, right? And most people here, I don't know for other places, are like just throwing flyers and posters and all that kind of stuff, which is, after all, like what I learned is just a huge waste of time. So I was looking for ways to improve the whole thing and slowly going online and see how to leverage that, because online is worldwide, and we are a local festival still, so it's not so easy to, at least in my mind, it was not so easy to just like say, okay, yeah, throw out some ads or whatever, and people will show up. So that was quite a long let's say long tail, right? So we started with some basic Facebook visibility campaign, which is like just, when you put something on your Facebook wall, everybody has Facebook, every event has Facebook, and you just press that button like boost your post, right? And that's like, okay, you're spending money and you hope like people will show up, but no, it didn't work, obviously. And then we did like we collected some leads and stuff. We did some email marketing and Facebook funnels for buying tickets. Where people, like, I don't know, in Europe they're quite conservative, at least for Switzerland, with buying online, and so it's just like it was just all hope marketing, right? And a lot of wasted time and money, obviously. So that's kind of the point where we find us at when we were going online.
So you try to have them buy the tickets offline, or you still try to sell it online?
Actually, we're doing both of them, both kind of ways. The thing is just with what I say, like with the basic visibility campaign, it's just like you hope they buy it online, right? You give them the payment gateways and everything is set up. But when we start promoting, it was just at the point where I started measuring like the metrics, like you see, okay, I spent $100 and there should be at least $100 coming back or something, right? And that wasn't the case. We made some special offers. As we said, it's a local event, so we're not in the high ticket range, which is kind of a challenge for me because we cannot sell tickets for like 500 euros or so. It's more like in the 20, 30, 40, 50 euros, depending on what kind of ticket and how many days you buy it. And therefore we were just doing like special offers, like flash sale, 80% off, get it. And for one ticket to sell online at that point, it was like 9 euros ticket. We spent like 35 euros to get a ticket away, which was like, really crap. Like we immediately stopped again. So in the end, you're just waiting at the door when the event comes up. Like we did this a few years now, so I kind of know what I'm talking about. And you wait there and maybe it's sunny, so then it's all set. Maybe it's raining and you're like, oh, please somebody would show up today and maybe make his choice to go into the dirt. And that was just like, the two ways how we sold things.
Yeah, and I believe that the way with online, how it online works, you have a little bit more stress during the time, because with the flyers, you just make a commitment. Okay, we go this, we print it out, we try to give it to everybody's hand, and we will see. With online, you see daily what's coming in, and that's the advantage in a way. You can optimize, but also like, okay, it's not working. What can we do now? So how was the pressure during this period? Like, but did you have any quota, like you have to manage to get that many people or tickets sell, or how did that work out in the background?
Right. Maybe you hear it always when I'm doing live stream, there's somebody calling, but you see, at least it's live. Maybe you just, can you repeat the question now again at this point? So it's without sound.
Sure. So I imagine that if you make a decision like an offline with the flyers, it's easier to just stick to it. It's the big commitment, and you will see at the end. But online, you kind of see these little results in the meantime, and you have this stress like, okay, it's not working, not working. And it's the advantage. You can optimize and change things. But how was the pressure for you? Did you have any amount of people you had to get to the event, or ticket sales, or any pressure from the team? How did it look like in the background?
Right. So yeah, as you're saying, like there's an advantage and disadvantage, however you want to call it. That's completely true. I mean, as I said, when you put flyers, you're hoping somebody would show up. You did your stuff. When you're online, you see the numbers and like it's going there. From my experience, like I knew usually it's let's go for the past years. It's kind of the same thing. I put up a campaign and in the beginning I didn't even measure like really properly, which is of course wrong, but everybody starts out somewhere. And it was kind of the same thing in the beginning. And then we started tracking. It's like, okay, yeah, we knew our numbers, but at that point, like in the first tracking parts, we didn't really, how to say, like you have it's not called a churn rate, but you have like a fall off rate, like if you let's say we did different kind of things, like if you give a ticket, if you do a giveaway. So now if you do a giveaway, you give out like 100 tickets, and there will be like, I don't know, 30, 40 people showing up at the event. So, but I didn't have that number yet, right? So I was just like, okay, yeah, we give away 300 tickets in one case. And I was in lots of effort to like pack everything. I did everything offline, sent them by mail and stuff like that. And then there was the pressure again, right? So I was talking to my team, and they're like, yeah, how many tickets are out? I'm like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, what was it back then? 700, 800 tickets, like that. And you're like, yeah, 700, 800 people. But obviously, when the event came, there was like a drop-off rate. And that's like the first time in my life I saw this on an event, like that I managed the advertising for myself, and the first time I get those numbers because we measured it. And yeah, I wouldn't say depression, but that I wasn't expecting it to be that big. And so there was kind of how do I say, like a bad mood, and especially during the event, that's not a good thing when you see like you work so much for a thing, because it's kind of I mean, of course, money is in the game, but it's kind of a leisure project. We have high numbers, but it's still a kind of a leisure project. Like we're doing this for as a side thing, right? And you work a lot for it, so there's pressure from the team behind you. Like if there is not, like if you're there and the people not showing up, it's kind of my fault, and that puts a high pressure. And then when it happens and there are not a lot of people showing up, it's like the whole team is. How should I say, like, they're like, yeah, didn't you say like there is more and stuff like that. So that's kind of not such a good feeling when you see like things first panic and then see things really don't work out and you can nothing do about it because it's too late.
Yeah, I see. So you said you really wanted to change and have this solved better this year. And what was your specific goal at that time?
Right. So yeah, as I told, we have some numbers. So I watched the numbers of the past 3 years, and I was like, yeah, we need to especially in the marketing, we want to grow further, like 20, 25, 30, 50%, depending on like what we will do, but keep the budget a bit back, because we needed to make the whole thing a little bit more profitable. And that was the same for marketing. Usually that's a really bad thing. If you start saving on the marketing, then everything goes. That's like a downward spiral. So the challenge was like, yeah, I need to find something I can work with kind of the same budget or even a little bit less and still keep growing. And also see like the drop-off rate we had in mind. I will just call it like that. I hope that's fine. I think everybody gets it. So we did events on other projects like seminars and stuff like that. And every time we saw like, okay, when we do it in this kind of approach, we will have 100 people, 100 signups, and then around 20 to 40 will show up, depending on how good we will remind them and everything. So my goal in this case was having a growth. So there's like anywhere from 20 to like we had in the past year, we had like 450 people. So the best case would have been 1,000 people, and the worst case was just like keeping the same level, right? So that was like the range I was aiming for. And another thing like that I wanted to finally. Did I say a number now? Yeah, I said the number. I said the range, right? Another thing I wanted to leverage is kind of we had a lot of people coming already yearly, right? So if there are people like coming every year and they're big fans of the whole thing, so I wanted to find a way how to leverage that fan base we already have for like, because nobody comes alone to a festival. Like it's a multi-day festival. You can do camping and everything. So. Yeah, those were like my goals. I wanted to find a way to leverage that. I wanted to have 500 to 500 to 1,000 people showing up, and that with kind of the same budget or even a little bit less. That's it.
And what were your ideas like? Did you do like a brainstorm? Okay, like where are the bottlenecks of us? Like, is it the drop-off rate that you mentioned, or is it really just the weather and you just cannot do anything about it? Or like pay and I don't know, pay for the local raining lady.
Right.
So, what were your ideas?
Yeah, the ideas. Starting with the rain, that's like a no-go. Like it's really hard. Like we have the mountains and everything, so weather is not really stable. Usually when it's hot in the summer, there's like always after a few days hot weather, it's always like a storm or a thunderstorm coming up and stuff like that. So it's always like kind of and then there are the summers where it's just raining for 2 weeks. But I knew like that's something I have to live with. So it's gonna be better in the sun, and it's gonna be better, less good when it's raining. So that's why I had that range in my mind. I thought like, okay, let's say like 20-30% if it's on the bad end. Let's say like maybe 50% if it's or 50% plus growth if it's on a sunny day, if it's like that, right? So those were like the expectation, and now I needed to find ideas, right? So I think the big challenge, as I said, like we are just having a small customer journey, let's say like that, in 1 year. So it's not like we can put a lot of money now and they pay the first time, and then we're having like I don't know, like in online space, there's like you can put out mails and Christmas sales and Easter sales and stuff like that. That's not working for us because we just have one event a year, so there's one chance a year. And yeah, so how do you get people there to give it a try? And in that case, maybe upgrade or bring more people with them, and then you live basically. In our case, you live from the drinks and food they have, from parking and anything additional they buy, right? So yeah, I was like ready to with the whole budget idea. I was ready to like sacrifice a big part of the ticket income for that growth. So we had some other places where we needed to reorganize the whole event. I will not go too deep because that's not relevant for now. But we basically sacrificed a lot of the ticketing costs or ticketing income, and tried to do a giveaway. That was like often coming up with team ideas and this and that. And we just wanted to do a giveaway and give them like a 1-day pass, right? So it's 4 days, the whole event. And if they would refer a few friends, I had no idea like how to do that at that point, but I was just like, yeah, you give them one ticket and then like, hey, you want to have like the full ticket? You can bring 3 of your friends. They're going there for free as well. And then if they confirmed, you're going to get the ticket as well, like the 4-day ticket. And the idea was like, okay, then one friend is going 4 days. So the other 3 friends would like do the same, right? So they would invite another 3 friends. So that's like a leverage of what we already have. That was one idea. And the other was like just not really an idea. That was just like the struggle or the challenge of that, which was like, how do I get them as cheap as possible, right? So there needs to be a way. That's it for that point in time.
Yeah, sounds good and sounds really challenging. I mean, like you have a low ticket price.
Yeah.
One time in a year, and maybe the weather of the Swiss mountains comes and
it's right. Yeah.
So let's see. How did you find a good solution, especially this invitation or like getting other people to bring their friends? That could be very powerful, but it's a little bit hard to achieve sometimes, right?
Exactly, because yeah, I mean, we did quite a few stuff over the past years. As I tell, we did something like a giveaway kind of thing as well, but it's just like really demanding. Like you have like 700-800 people, right? Of course, after you have the drop off, but they like ordered the tickets. I think I printed it. Or no. Like I printed a receipt for the free ticket. I printed physical tickets, and I put them in a letter and a stamp on it, and then just bring it to and I was like, I don't know how many afternoons I spent like doing that, and I was just like, no way I'm gonna do that again. That needs to be automated or whatever. Like, yeah, and also like the visibility campaigns and everything we did, like YouTube ads and stuff like that, was not trackable. We did no immediate return on invest. So I was just like, okay, let's try a modified giveaway version of that. And then what was that? Probably early last year, like early 2018. And we I was hearing about that thing as Facebook Messenger bots, right? I was like, yeah, okay, nice thing. That's a bit beside. And at that time, we did other live events in other areas, like more on the financial market and in a seminar forum. So it's really a different market. But I had a chance to try it out because we were also searching for different solutions in that market, and I realized, okay, there's, as I said, I think Messenger chatbots, and it's either like it's a very easy thing to interact, with the people, so you can like let them like choose things, like have, or how to say, like you can segment people that come in the process, and also like have a little bit more engagement as just the emails, like you send out the message and then that's it, and maybe like in 1% you hear something back, and then you never know, right? So here is like it's more like in the English they call it like gamification, so it's more a little bit more fun way to do things. And the other thing is like the pricing. I saw like you get people really cheap inside. I don't know why. I guess like because it's Facebook native, especially if you're working with Facebook ads. So that's like why I came onto this, and why I would give it a try. So then we come back to the challenge. How can we use this for our case, right? And this is where like I was sitting with my team, and like, okay, we could try a chatbot, right? So what do we need to do? And they're like not in the online marketing space, but I since it's a side thing, I want the team, or I wanted, and I still want to work the team close together, so they know like what we are doing, not just like in the background hoping like, yeah, maybe maybe people will show up. So I wanted them to know like, this is what we do. I will give you the numbers, and you can help me maybe, or give me improvements. And also wanted the team to do videos, so we have a face of the brand, not just like like an ad, like get a ticket or whatever. I wanted a face. So I was sitting down with them, and we mapped out, like chatbots. Okay, chatbots in the beginning, like, okay, I can do this. I think I can do this, and did just some lines on the paper, and it sounded like easy on the paper, right? So it's always like that when I have the $1 million idea that's gonna make us successful.
I think I can count the times I mapped out on the whiteboard.
Yeah. So we made that plan on a paper, and I sat down like first day PC, and I was like, okay, open, click there, open the bot, and it's like, okay, draw this here and this there, and I was like, okay. There are like lots of issues coming up, like what if he has already a ticket, or like what about the affiliate thing, like I've not done that yet, and it's like, okay, little struggles come up, and like yeah we will, like when things don't work immediately, I sometimes like just procrastinate a bit, like, yeah, let's have a look tomorrow. I have other things to do, because when you struggle at a point and you're just doing everything yourself, and you need to learn new things, it takes like immense amount of time. So that was like procrastinating at that point when we just started out. And I was like feeling overwhelmed, a little bit in the dark, right? And I knew like nobody of my team could help. I knew nobody from my projects could help. I was just like a little bit kind of a lone thing, and therefore, yeah, let's have a look tomorrow. Yeah, that was back then.
Okay, so just one quick question. You mentioned that it was a new thing and that people can be a little bit, I don't know, maybe on the conservative side with the online tickets ordering and online shopping. So did you think at one point that, okay, this is too new for the people, or they don't use Messenger that much, or it's a bad idea to force them into this thing you have barely any idea of?
I was like, my goal was to integrate the ticketing system into that too. That was another idea we came up, like those how you have that on the big events, like you can have it on your cell phone. Like when you go on the airplane these days, you have it on your cell phone with the QR code, and you just hold it down and it's checked, and that's it. That was like my goal, and I was like, okay, try it, right? I knew like it's new. We have kind of an audience that's not like 16 to 18, like it's kind of a little bit older than you. When I talk to people on the street, they're like, that's nothing for me, that's for the young people. But actually we have quite an old audience, so that was for sure there. And especially when we started out with the whole thing, that's a little bit later down the road, there were like way too many I don't want to call it drop off again. Like people got there and they're like, yeah, like, okay, first thing I was asking, like, can you give me your cell phone number so we can send a ticket there? You know, like you need to, if you want the cell phone number, people would write the wrong one. So in this case, they needed to write the right one because it was for the ticket. I wanted that cell phone number, right? So I had to give a good reason. And like already they're like, why do you need it? And can't you just send it via mail? And I was like always adding lines like, can you please give me your cell phone number, because we're gonna send the ticket there. This will help you. Like this will help you to like, you will not lose it first, and we will be a lot faster at the entrance and stuff like that, right? So I had to add that. That was like the experience. Like people are questioning things and they're like, you know, they're just asking random stuff, which was not perfect at that time. So when I saw people who were struggling somewhere, I was just adding up. So I think the more, like I would do for a future thing, I would do that again. But I think you need to watch like where people get stuck, right? So about the new thing, I think yeah, it's especially for like older people, they don't realize that it's a bot in our case. They're just asking questions. So I think it's wrong to say, depending on what you're doing, that it's 100% hands-free, but you can like you know, like you can control the flow kind of a lot when you just work on the whole progress. For us, it was a marketing period of about 2 to 3 months where we really went hard on spending. And for that, it was definitely getting better. Like in the beginning, it was lots of struggles and see like people stuck, and later on it was getting a lot better and easier. And yeah.
Yeah, sounds like you have to manage the expectations of the people and just make it easier for them to use and just optimize the whole thing. Like, it's no easy way out when you're like, okay, you put that it and they know intuitively everything. And you can train also people who are not that adjusted to this technology and make it work in a way.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah, I loved how you explained, and we go into the setup and the flow, and then you could share like little tips, like, okay, this is where I saw it went down, so we adjusted this a little bit, and then it worked better. I love this, and I do it all the time as well, and especially this little thing like you mentioned, like giving reasons to people why they should provide an email or a phone number. Yeah, I love these concepts, and we can go later in more detail in this. So this was very new to you, and people were a little bit skeptical, but you decided to go with it even though you had little knowledge there. So what happened then?
Okay, what happened then? Yeah, we went a little bit too far now, because we're now like the question you had before was like already when we were starting out. So back before we were talking about building it and having the ideas on the map, and like having the structure set, but like no way how to set up. And I procrastinate, right, for a certain time, which is not too good. I knew it myself, but like everybody's human. So I was coming back on that and again, and slowly, like when there's the time again, right, like, okay, it's, I don't know, I don't, like, I didn't know the exact date when I was like getting, how to say, like on English, like shit gets real, right?
That's fine.
But yeah, it's just like, okay, I gotta find a solution to this. And then I was like reading really into chatbots, because I thought, okay, yeah, this could be a good asset for the future, to also have this for other projects and stuff like that. And then I would like Google, YouTube and stuff. And this is, by the way, where like I first saw your work. At that time I didn't know you. But I guess I was watching YouTube videos and then coming to your blog or Google search, like. But when we were talking later, when we got to know each other, there was like, oh, that's the guy. I know that voice somewhere, right? So it's kind of fun how things turn out later on down the road. But yeah, I started reading and consuming your stuff, and I got some more clarity on the whole thing. And I think that the biggest struggle of all those things was that kind of thing with yeah, like I invite you as from advertising, or as an existing customer, and give you the opportunity to get 3 more friends, right? So how that would play together, that I can track you, it's your 3 friends, and send you a reminder, or like confirm the whole thing. And with the ticketing system, I was like, I don't want to make it too complicated now, because I had that struggle once in my mind, so it's gone now. But this was like the huge thing. And wherever I was watching, there was no resource teaching how to do that, right? No chance. And at some point I was just like, okay, this is not worth going further with my time. I felt just like overwhelmed. Not giving up, but it's kind of, the panic again, like, what if it doesn't work? I need to find something else, so better make it work now. And I started like, okay, let's try some experts, right? So I went for Googling, like the platforms I usually go, like Fiverr or Upwork and stuff like that. And I was trying people, and then some of them were like not really expensive, not really cheap, sorry. I had people like 70, 80, 100 euros an hour. And I paid them and to have a look, and they're like promising everything, like, yeah, I'm the master of chatbots. I know how to set things up and stuff like that. And I send them the thing. They charge a few hours, and they're like coming back. Yeah, sorry, this is not going right. And time passes, and the pressure gets more and more, and this is not good. It's like you have the knife in your neck, right? So yeah, and then I think after a while, like I was just reaching out to communities, and you are in both, right? I'm not remembering exactly. You're in ManyChat and Chatfuel, but more on the Chatfuel side, right?
Yeah, I used to be quite active in any groups. Now I mostly do in my own group. You probably be there as well.
Okay. Yes, but I put like my questions there. I think there was called the referral link. You had the kind of link where you could share your bot, and I think on the system they would like recognize which message to send based on that link. So I was like, okay, that's the only way to push thing from outside into it. But it didn't work, right? So I started posting questions, hey people, please help me, and everybody's saying like no, 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 right? Until you like, you were the crazy one, and telling me like, yeah, that's actually possible, and we scheduled a call. That's like from now like 1 year ago, and it's just like 3 months ahead of the festival. And I was like, my expectation at that point, as you can imagine, I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, let's give it a try. But I had like so many disappointments. Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, either this works or just leave it, last chance. And yeah, the reason we're talking here is
I'm really glad that you didn't give up and be connected, because it turned out to be really good. So we did the correct setup, and what happened? You started to use it and tweak it and optimize it, and how did it work out?
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time I got something like that, right? So you show me like, okay, you need to put this there and this there, and so everything really clear, structured. And then I would pull up like just start the ads. And since we were like kind of a local, like kind of a local festival, and we just advertise on a local small spot, people would know it, right? And it was like viral, right? Instant. The first day was like we get leads for, I don't know, like 1-2 cents, right? That's really crazy. I don't know how this happened. Where they were like sharing, hey, did you see this, and this? And like after 2 days, I realized like that when they got reminders for those 3 tickets, invite a friend and stuff like that, I realized like, damn, this is somehow not working, right? And I was like, emergency, Valiant, hell, we need to fix this. And that's like, I think that's even like after that first highlight that you set everything up, or I could set up everything with the help of your coaching. That was like the second big, how to say, like the big thing. I'm really, really grateful that I had your help and you as a person in that time, because that was like an emergency, right? When everything is going viral and you need to stop the ads, right? That's like you never touch a running system, but I had to, and you really immediately helped, and it went off. And I think we will later on show some numbers on that, and so everybody can see how that all took off, and the numbers and what we did exactly in detail. But yeah, it went off. We had we had a big emergency. You helped again, and it just went on, and like after 2-3 months we had around 2,500 tickets out, and I was like, yeah, we need to cut like from the event, because we were like outside building up everything already. And I was like, okay, I'm super happy. I think I already sent you like a little message back then, but I was really like grateful, and that was like from the marketing part a huge thing.
Yeah, so let's put those numbers into place then. So you mentioned the range from 500 to 1,000, and now like 3,000 or over 2,000 signups.
Yeah.
Then there are the lead costs. So how did this number, like how does it sound so exciting? Because maybe people don't know like the comparison compared to last year's.
Yeah, I prepared them a little bit. I had to calculate it for today's talk, just to get a reference of the whole thing. At that time, we spent for just the Facebook messenger campaign, or getting people into the messenger, we spent around $1,050 and a few cents, which got us like 2,358 full leads. That means like name, that means the email address, and the cell phone number, right? Which is really great for having for future marketing purposes, right? You can do lookalike audience and stuff like that. You can go for Google and stuff. That's a long-term thing. That's a long-term investment. What in total we got like 3,000 subscribers, somewhere around that. I'm not sure if we kept all of them. I think I deleted the ones who were not full, because after the event it was just like a little bit pricey, you know, having so many contacts, because I was not expecting that. And I calculated down the lead cost, which was like 44 cents on Swiss francs, but it's kind of the same for dollars, so under half a dollar. Which was 7 times less than in the previous years. Like the years before, we were always like $3.5, $4, right in that range. So that was like a huge difference. You cannot imagine how you. And we had on the event, we had good weather, like it was sun. What was playing a little bit against us was there was like the World Football Cup this year again. I mean in 2018, and I think we had a game for Switzerland on Friday, which really cut our numbers. That was crap. But we still mastered a growth of which is like 25% or something. We had almost 672 people showing up with the cell phone and scanning the ticket and everything fine. That worked, and it was really great to also have that all inside the chatbot. You know, they got the ticket ID inside the chatbot and everything, and so they just needed their cell phone with the messenger, and that's it, right? In the event, like I'm sharing some really deep numbers now, but we did a revenue from everything else of like almost $26,000 divided by the people. That's like 34.87 or almost $35 attendant value per attendant, right, per person showing up, and compare this to the lead cost. Even though like one in 5 person showed up. 1 in 4. So that's like $1.60, $1.70 per attendee in costs for a revenue of $35, which is like insane. I'm happy. I'm super happy. Right.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Like 7 times less to spend on a lead. That's really amazing. And so you had around half a dollar lead cost, and the lead value is $11. So
exactly.
That's very successful, even though Switzerland played the World Cup. So
yeah. But it was Friday. Like Saturday went through the roof. Like we had no parking space. We had like bar was busy. Every seating area was busy. We had lots of people, and we did this for 6 years now, and it was just like the best feedback we ever got. So I mean, of course, other things play a part in this too. But like, you know, to see the camping area is fully occupied. You have the parking, as I said, and that like it makes the atmosphere right. So if you're alone in front of the stage, that's not going to be the same feeling as with a few hundred people. So that's really thumbs up. Right. And it all comes back to what we did here, right? What we did together with the marketing, and that's like really, thank you so much.
So how did it feel like you bring up these crazy ideas, and then the team, everybody's like, yeah, okay, like let's try like the new thing, and then it's a big success.
Yeah. That's like, it's almost undescribable, like flying, right? It's like the moment you put everything up, it's still a new thing, right? So you know, the drop-off rates from the previous year, and you're with the team like, yeah, it's coming good, but you don't really know. You cannot know. Like maybe it's raining, maybe it's sunny. You know, we had the FIFA Cup, so on Friday I was like kind of, will it be like that on Saturday? It was okay. It was good. We had more people than the previous year, but it was not what I was expecting from what we have done. But on Saturday, you know, sun, and then just like the evening, the early or late afternoon, early evening coming up, and I had the entrance team working like together. Like I was like managing the entrance team, as well, in case they had some problems with the ticketing stuff. And when you see like there's a long queue of cars, everybody's waiting to get in, that's like, boys, we made it. It's like you cannot describe this. Like, just you worked so hard for a whole year. Of course, there's other stuff happening. Then the physical work starts. Like build up the things. I'm not like how to say, I don't know how to say it in English, but like, even though I'm like on the marketing side, I still went out and helped them, like working on the stage and here and that. That's because it's a project I love, and therefore like it's so much effort, and then it turns out to be worth all the effort, and having a super result, and having the growth, and having leverage, like all the goals we set. I told you, like we wanted to have that growth rate. We didn't double, but it was a solid growth. We had less costs in the marketing space, so we reached that goal too, and we leveraged that kind of existing audience with friends, and bring your friends, and yeah, it just played all together, and I'm really happy we could have done that. Yeah.
Amazing. So we will do a rundown of the whole process and the setup, but quickly just let's mention like how did the flow look like, and what do you think what attributed to the success? Like how did the chatbot bring so much value that you could achieve this amazing success?
Right. So like what we did exactly, like in the single steps.
Yeah, just a little bit like what do you think were the exceptional parts of it, like the invitation system, for example?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Okay, got it. Because like we will show an in-depth.
Yeah, I just want to give a little preview to the listeners.
Right. Okay, sure. Like I think what you just mentioned, that was like it was the biggest struggle, but I was not I was not left alone with that part. I was not wrong, fortunately, in a good way. Fortunately, I was right with all the time and hope I gave into that recommendation invitation system, where you helped a big part in setting the whole thing up and making it work. Because you don't go alone to a festival, right? You go with friends. So that's like how we say in the online space, like an irresistible offer, right? So if you're getting a ticket and you're like, hey, do you want to have your friends coming with you? That just like goes viral, right? I don't have the exact numbers right on that, like how many people got invited and stuff like that, but people were really busy inviting people, and I think that's a big part how we got the costs down so much, because like Switzerland, 44 cents a lead is like almost impossible, because the clicks are like almost that or even higher, right? So the invitation system made a big part in the whole thing. And the other thing is the time saving. I'm not exactly sure how we set up everything in detail, but to have that automated ticketing system, right? That was like saving me the time. As you remember, like I was putting things into envelopes and stuff like that. Those two things working together save a huge amount of time, saved a lot of headache. Also like and help like growing the whole thing, right? I think those are like the two parts, if you want.
Yeah, well, I think also like you had some reminders, right? Like it's a fixed time, and you had reminders helping people how to invite other people. So all these little things that based on their behavior, and also like when the event is coming up, gave you reason to message them, to amp them up a little bit for the festival. So, and that's for free, because in Messenger you can send out these messages for free. So you don't need to have like retargeting ads, like, okay, reminder, tomorrow is the festival. Like you can do it for free.
Yes, that was, I mean, those are those are the basic chatbot things. But of course, I mean, that's like the huge thing. And especially with the chat fuel side, where you can really, I think we could go way more deeper than on ManyChat. in my case, like for what I needed, like see if somebody already signed up in the database and got a ticket, so they don't can like double like abuse the offer, right? I mean, there are always people doing that, so we could prevent that. And like yeah, just having counting up, and when you reach like when your first friend how to say, like confirmed the ticket, you got like a message to the invitee, and he's like, is it called invitee or is it an inviter? Like the one who sends out the invitation. My English, but he got like, yeah, a picture of our brand person. You know, like there was like people looking more like a rocker more than me, and he's like, yeah, you have the first ticket, right? And then yeah, you have the second, and then like, yeah, you made it, you have your free 4-day pass and stuff like that. And then also like we tried to monetize a bit for people who did not make the tree in time, or didn't want to invite friends, so some of them bought even online, which was free as well. There's an integration to capture payments as well, which is if you're on the premium plan, it's like free as well. So that's like so many things you can do with that. It's amazing, and I will definitely go for that again for the upcoming year, for the upcoming season.
Yeah, I was amazed, like how I help you with the basic structure, and you were like, okay, and then we have the tickets, and like just putting the pieces together, like your experience. Yeah, that was amazing, and I will love when we go over the details and
Sure.
see how is it. So I guess that's valuable for next year as well, and we'll help you.
Definitely.
And just a quick question, like what would you help with others who are, or what would you say when they are like skeptical about messenger marketing, like how to go at it? Is it for everyone, or is it just like a special luck you had between like certain mountains of Switzerland, or what
right.
What do you think?
From the Switzerland side, I got like really really good feedback from people who know messenger marketing, because we were making the area bigger and bigger since it was working, but sometimes like the local, like 2 small areas were like not working anymore, so we made it bigger. And then we hit some cities, and they were like probably ad agency people or something. They're like, really good job, I just wanted to try it out, but really good job, right? So that was something kind of unique. So I think there's like a huge potential in using the whole thing. From trying new things on a market, I'm like always saying, test it. I mean, you need to test it. You need to see how your market is responding to that. And in case you're skeptical, like give it a try. Like give it a try and see the numbers coming in, and then decide like if that's for you or not, right? But you need to try to know if it's working for you. That's like my number one thing. The second thing is, like, as we talked already, is when you do try, like, see how the market is responding. Like, you're getting people inside. Are they stuck? Are they asking questions? And how you could make that easier. Because like when people get stuck in the first place, I could be like, okay, it's not working. People are not, they don't like it. It's not working. It's like, give a little bit of effort and see like why not just like, okay, I threw something up and yeah, I think that's a good point, but definitely test it.
Yeah, I love how you pointed out that people like giving up at the first try, and it's
Yes.
something good, like,
yeah.
But it's so typical. Like, I see so many like failed chatbots, and like people come to, yeah, we tried. I'm like, yeah, okay. What did you try? And let's see. And let's not just say chatbots don't work for you because you had a shitty attempt at it. Amazing. So everyone, the rundown of this and the whole setup is in the mastermind. And you can also just follow the chatbot tutorial and follow the messenger. Like, if you're on our list, I may put it out for the public as well. And Manuel, where can people find you? if they want to reach out.
If they want to reach out, or if you have a question regarding to this, or maybe like something specific in the project with you, I think you can link my website in the description of the episode, and maybe put my Facebook profile there so people can reach out. Maybe my email address. So we will see, but you'll find it under in the, like, wherever the description is, but you will find it in the description for my contact details.
Okay, amazing. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hope you are as inspired as I am. I really enjoyed when Manuel mentioned how he needed to optimize a few things before it really started to work. I love how we have all the data to do necessary improvements on our funnels. We did a technical breakdown of the whole campaign where Manuel shared his screen and we went over the exact setup step by step. And that will be available in my upcoming program Bot Mastery 2.0. Make sure to join the early bird list and get notified when it will be available. Just hop over to botmastery.com and enter with 2 clicks. As always, you can find the show notes at over chatbottutorial.com/podcast.
Thanks for joining the Chatbot Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to rate us on iTunes and share it with others.